Welcome to my bold and beautiful Today's Show channel. I hope today fantastic for everyone. Please hit the subscribes button and give this video thumbs up. During an emotional disagreement with Steffy, Liam weeps in agony. At the Cliff House, Liam praises Steffy for taking him in. Steffy claims that she has informed Finn that it is absurd that they have not yet identified a specialist who can provide him with assistance. She is genuinely apologetic that this is occurring to him. Steffy queries why he is not disclosing his prognosis to his loved ones. Liam desires for them to be content. That is the reason he refrained from informing Hope and advised her to return to Carter. Steffy points out Hope and Carter weren't exactly an ideal team. Liam believes that they were mutually beneficial. He abruptly screams in agony. Recovering, he says he knows what Hope is like when she's joyful. Carter would brighten her up. The radiance has diminished as a result of their separation. They should allocate their time to those who provide them with the most pleasure. Carter pleads with Hope. At Brooke's home, Carter asks Hope not to give up on them. She says she wasn't the one who did that. Carter appeals to go back to the way it was before the takeover. Hope wants to believe what he's saying, but she's not sure she can trust him. He chose Ridge and his family over them. Carter realizes she felt betrayed. Hope was compromised. Carter promises to remedy this. He hates being apart from her and desires her back. I don't want to spend another second without you. Carter informs Hope he needs her. She shrugs. You let me go. They debate and Carter says he doesn't want to speak about Forrester. His existence is incomplete without her. He needs her to tell him they can rebuild their future. Hope contends it's not that simple, choking up. She lists off what she misses about him. She misses the way he makes her feel. His love feels like sunshine, but she can't forget about the awful things that happened and rush into his arms. Carter insists. You can. Hope's unconvinced she can trust him. She knows he's a decent man, but his best intentions still left to her being unconsidered and hurt. He thought he could protect her and her dynasty. He asks her to give him another opportunity. Hope isn't sure how to be confident. Carter urges her to take the time she needs. He'll prove he can be trusted with her emotions. Carter Hope B&B. Ridge makes a request. At Forrester, Brooke informs Ridge that she still envisions a future for them. Ridge says, Logan, we've been through this, yes? Brooke recaps that he went off with Taylor, but she has faith in them. They're destined to be together. Deep down she knows he knows that. That's why she's there. We're still devoted to each other. Ridge thought she was there because she adored the company. She loves him more. They concur it's been challenging. Brooke tells him he can't evade the truth. So just open your heart. Come back to me. Brooke knows Ridge's heart and where it belongs. Ridge says he's with Taylor and requests to change the subject. Brooke believes she's getting too close to the truth. Ridge, you can't deny this. On the stage she could see the love he still has for her. It's time. It's time to come home. She moved in close and asks Ridge to be honest with her. Ridge is being honest. He hasn't forgotten what they shared. She is essential to him. I'm with Taylor. She makes me joyful. I want to uphold my word. I want to be a man of my word. So you need to help me keep it. More B&B's Taylor problem. Brooke contends if Ridge was really committed to Taylor, he wouldn't be feeling this way. Ridge is feeling this way because he's committed. Brooke believes him running to her was a knee-jerk reaction. Will he really let this dictate the remainder of his life? Brooke Ridge B&B. A difficult conversation. At the Cliff House, Liam informs Steffy he's seeing the world differently now. Carter made Hope joyful. Steffy contends it didn't last. They rehash what occurred. Liam points out she and Finn face challenges, and they still adore each other. Steffy doesn't believe you can compare her marriage to that. Liam says love is the purpose. Steffy admires how much he cares about Hope. But I know how much she cares about you too. She deserves to know what's happening. That you're dying, Liam. More. Liam medical mix-up? Liam complains that if he tells Hope, she'll tell Beth. Steffy contends that she and Finn know, and Kelly hasn't found out. Liam would have kept it from her too if he could have. Steffy says Hope is going to want to be prepared. I think you should tell her now. Liam laments that he's not telling her now. He's doing it on his terms. Wincing in agony again, he curses. Calming, Liam says he understands she's worried, not only about him, but about Hope too. That's how he knows he's doing the correct thing. This is his last chance to undo the damage he's done and make peace between the two of them. Liam caused the rift between Steffy and Hope and wishes to fix it. He's the reason the rivalry began, and he didn't do enough to diffuse it. Steffy says he adored them and they loved him. Liam doesn't have much time left and needs to know the people he cares about will come together. You're my family, right? When the time comes, he has to set this up so she and Hope can support each other. Steffy cries. This is really hard, Liam. He urges her to reflect about their incredible memories. He's so grateful to her. Steffy marvels that they've been through so many exploits and ups and downs. But one stands out to her. She sobs. When you disappeared and I thought I'd lost you. Liam smiles. I found you. They flash to reuniting on the beach. Kelly, Beth, Hope and we won't lose you. We can't. Liam takes her into his arms as she sobs. Liam snaps at Steffy. Hope can't recommit. The Bold and the Beautiful reveals that Liam Spencer snapped at Steffy Forrester as his symptoms grew worse. Hope Logan also couldn't recommit to Carter Walton just yet, so here's how Monday's B&B episode played out. At the Cliff House, Liam explained to Steffy that Hope's light had dimmed since she'd been broken up with Carter, so he hoped to remedy that. Steffy had doubts about Carter and Hope being a suitable match, but Liam wanted Hope to be happy and pointed out that Steffy had overcome her own challenges with John Finnegan. Talk eventually turned to Hope being out of the loop on Liam's medical condition. Steffy argued that Hope needed to know Liam was dying, but he suggested that could lead to Beth Spencer finding out, and he clearly didn't want that. Steffy pointed out that they'd managed to keep Kelly Spencer in the dark, and once again pressed Liam to give Hope updates on his grim news. Liam lost his temper a bit as he persisted on doing things on his terms, but then he felt some sudden pain and gripped his head. This pain happened a couple of times during their discussion, so it was evident that Liam was getting worse. Once Liam settled down, he accepted responsibility for kicking off the feud between Hope and Steffy. Liam wanted to reverse the damage and make sure the mothers of his daughters could support each other when he was gone. Steffy eventually reminisced about her relationship with Liam over the years, so she mentioned when he disappeared and she believed she lost him. That led to Steffy's recollection of her memorable reunion on the beach with Liam. Steffy ultimately broke down sobbing over Liam being taken away from her along with Hope, Beth and Kelly. As Steffy insisted they couldn't lose Liam, she shared an emotive embrace with him. At Brooke Logan's home, Carter begged Hope to come back to him, and felt they could return to how their personal relationship was before business invaded it. Although Hope maced Carter and how his love made her feel, she couldn't just go running back into his embrace. Carter argued that Hope indeed could, but she still had trust issues, particularly after what happened with her fashion line. Since Hope wasn't certain enough to give Carter another chance yet, he urged her to take her time and resolve to prove himself. At Forrester Creations, Rich Forrester attempted to shut Brooke down when she once again brought up their future, and pushed him to reunite. Although Brooke believed Ridge's heart belonged with her, Ridge reminded her of his commitment to Taylor Hayes and wanted to be a man of his word. Brooke thought Ridge acted too hastily in running back to Taylor, and essentially wondered if he'd really let that lock him in for life. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Brooke will give up on her predictions for a future with Ridge in the coming weeks, so remain tuned for her new path. Liam's hat is a character of its own. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers has everyone asking, did Liam Spencer really have brain surgery? That's because a lot of fans can't help but ponder what's up with Liam's hat. It seems like a lot of viewers of the show are just completely bothered by it, and believe that it's only going to be a matter of time before his entire set of hair is going to be revealed the moment that his hat comes off. Liam's hat is a character of its own. Simply stated, Liam's hat on the show has become a character of its own. Either people adore it or they completely loathe it. As our readers can assume, the Bold and the Beautiful fans had a lot to say about this storyline and Liam's hat on social media. Some even said, they did show him with bandages around his head before discharging himself. It's like a dude hat, it's alright, it looks kind of chill. Did Liam really have surgery? Another devotee of the show wrote, it's giving early 2010s hipster chic, hence open mic night. I should know, I used to wear my beanies like this in art school. And then there was this comment as well. I think this is the only soft fabric he can tolerate. I believe a ball cap or anything else would be too tight and would put pressure on his stitches. And then there was this comment as well. With that hat controversy put aside, it makes zero sense that Bill wouldn't have come sniffing around to find out where Liam is after they had that powerful scene together just prior to Liam's collapse to the cliff house. The ocean waves crashed softly in the background, but inside emotions churned like a storm. Liam sat on the couch, shoulders hunched, his ever-present beanie pulled low over his forehead, the fabric damp with perspiration not from the California sun but from the unrelenting pain pulsing in his head. Steffi hovered close, eyes red with concern as she brought him a glass of water he barely touched. "Thank you," Liam murmured hoarsely, gratitude straining through each syllable. "For letting me stay here." His voice carried the weariness of a man not just burdened by illness, but by the weight of secrets and years of complicated history. Steffi folded her arms, torn between the resolve of a mother attempting to maintain calm, and the anguish of a woman watching someone she once loved slowly deteriorate. "I told Finn it's insane that no one's found a specialist yet. Someone who can actually help you." Her voice cracked slightly at the edges, her vulnerability bleeding through. "I'm so sorry this is happening to you, Liam." The silence that followed wasn't just silence. It was filled with memories, regrets, missed chances, and too many tangled emotions to identify. Then she turned, her eyes locking with his. "But why aren't you telling the people who love you the truth?" Her words weren't accusations. They were the pleas of someone who still cared deeply, who still saw Liam as family. Liam lowered his head, rubbing his temple, as if massaging the agony away. "Because I want them to be happy," he said. "That's why I didn't tell Hope. That's why I told her to go back to Carter." Steffi narrowed her eyes, skeptical. Hope and Carter weren't exactly the dream team you think they were. But Liam persisted, even as a spasm of agony tore through him, his hand flying to his head, eyes clenched shut. He breathed through it, gritting his teeth until it subsided. Hope was different with him. Happier. Brighter. He fired her up. "I haven't seen that radiance in a while." Steffi softened. "Because she's still in love with you, Liam." But he shook his head. "It doesn't matter. What matters is that she finds joy, before I'm not here anymore." Meanwhile, across town at Brooke's home, Carter stood in front of Hope, desperation etching every line in his face. "Don't give up on us," he implored. But Hope, arms folded, her expression a mixture of fortitude and sorrow, said quietly, "I wasn't the one who gave up, Carter. You did." The tension in the air was thick. Carter took a step closer. "I made a mistake siding with Ridge during the takeover. I know it harmed you. I know you felt deceived. But I never ceased loving you." Hope's resolve wavered just a bit as she let out a shaky breath. "You chose the Forresters over me. Over us. Over everything we built together." Carter's voice broke, his hands trembling. "Let's go back. Let's neglect the boardrooms and the politics and remember who we were." Hope blinked back tears. "I want to believe you. I miss you. I miss the way you made me feel. Like the sun was always beaming. But I'm scared." Carter gently reached out, his touch hesitant. "Let me prove to you that you can trust me again. I'll wait however long it takes." Hope looked down, struggling with the choice between what her heart whispered and what her mind shouted. "It's not simple, Carter. You hurt me." And though she didn't run into his arms, she didn't walk away either, leaving the moment suspended in heartbreaking possibility. Back at Forrester Creations, the polished elegance of the design house felt frigid as Brooke stood in Ridge's office, confronting the man who had spent decades toggling between her and Taylor. "You still love me," she said firmly, hands planted on the desk. "That's why you're so afraid of looking me in the eyes." Ridge sighed, dragging his fingers through his hair. "Logan, we've talked about this." But Brooke pressed on, relentless. "You went back to Taylor out of guilt. But that's not where your heart lives." Ridge stepped forward, his voice low but firm. "I'm trying to be a man of my word. I vowed Taylor I'd be there for her, and I meant it." Brooke's eyes filled with tears. "If you really meant it, you wouldn't be standing here looking like your soul is cracking in half." Ridge glanced away, guilt written all over his features. "Help me keep my promise, Brooke," he murmured. "Please." But Brooke wouldn't give up. "You're not afraid of breaking your word. You're afraid of breaking her heart. But what about your own?" Ridge didn't answer, And in that silence Brooke saw the truth. He still loved her, but for now duty held him back. Later, back at the Cliff House, the emotional dam eventually broke between Liam and Steffy. "I see the world differently now," Liam said, voice rough, breaking under the weight of impending loss. "Everything looks sharper. Every color brighter. I can't squander time." Steffy shook her head, her voice rising. "Hope deserves to know. You're dying, Liam." Her words hit him like a thunderclap. "You think I don't know that?" he snapped, the volume of his voice startling both of them. "If I tell Hope, she'll tell Beth. And Beth's just a little child. She shouldn't have to live with this before she has to." Steffy's eyes filled with tears. "She should at least have time to prepare. They both should." Liam's body tensed again, a cry of pain ripping from him as he clutched his head. "Damn it!" he cursed, attempting to breathe through the agony. Steffy raced to him, but he waved her off. "This is my choice," he gritted out. "I want to fix what I broke. I want Hope and you to be okay together. I want Kelly and Beth to see their mothers as friends, not enemies." Steffy looked at him with renewed sorrow. "You really think you can make that happen?" Liam gave a faint smile. "I have to believe I can. It's all I have left." Steffy's voice broke as she remembered their past. "Do you remember the beach? When I thought I'd lost you?" Liam smiled through his tears. "And I found you." They both paused, the memory washing over them like a balm to their aching souls. "We've been through so much," Steffy whispered. "But nothing prepared me for this." She broke down, clinging to him as he held her. "We can't lose you. Not like this. Not now." Liam kissed the top of her head, holding on as if she were his last lifeline. And while Liam was attempting to write the final chapters of his life on his own terms, the rest of the world continued spinning. At Forrester, Ridge attempted to shut off the part of himself still entangled with Brooke, even as Taylor remained oblivious to the doubt that danced in his eyes. At Brooke's house, Hope stood at a crossroads with Carter, her heart yearning for the warmth she once felt, but her mind wary of repeating old errors. And then there was Liam, his health failing rapidly, each day a gamble, each headache a reminder that time was not on his side. But even with the agony intensifying and his condition worsening, Liam refused to give in to despair. He clung to hope, not for himself but for those he'd leave behind. He wanted to be the man who ultimately brought peace to the long-standing war between Hope and Steffy, who ensured that his daughters would live in a world free of rivalry. It was a heavy task for a dying man, but Liam had always carried too much, loved too profoundly, tried too hard. And now, with the end closing in, he would do it all again because that's who he was. Even as his body betrayed him, his heart still beat fervently for the people he loved. And somewhere in all of it, behind the anguish and the tears, was a simple truth. Liam Spencer was not going quietly. He was going with affection, with intention, with purpose. Liam cries out in pain during an emotional disagreement with Steffy, a deep dive into betrayal, love, and unresolved emotions. At the Cliff House, the air is thick with unspoken tension, as Liam expresses his gratitude to Steffy for offering him shelter during what appears to be a profoundly tumultuous time in his life. His words, though appreciative, carry an undercurrent of sorrow. Steffy, ever the compassionate figure, reassures him that she's doing everything in her power to help him locate a specialist who can address his undisclosed medical condition. Her empathy is palpable as she apologizes for the suffering he's enduring, but her concern quickly shifts to frustration when she queries why he has chosen to keep his prognosis a secret from those who love him most. Liam's reasoning is heartbreaking in its selflessness. He wants his loved ones to be joyful, even if it means bearing his pain in silence. This, he explains, is why he never told Hope about his deteriorating health, and why he encouraged her to rekindle her relationship with Carter. His logic is flawed yet noble, anchored in a misguided belief that sacrificing his own happiness for others' peace of mind is the right thing to do. Steffy, however, isn't convinced. She challenges his perspective, pointing out that Hope and Carter were never the dream team Liam seems to believe they were. The conversation takes a sudden, visceral turn when Liam winces in pain, a physical manifestation of the emotional and possibly physical anguish he's enduring. Recovering, he doubles down on his stance, insisting that Hope deserves to be with someone who offers her joy, something he no longer believes he can provide. His words are laced with resignation, as if he's already accepted his fate, and is merely attempting to tie up loose emotional ends before it's too late. The tragedy of the moment rests in Liam's inability to see that his loved ones would want to stand by him, to fight for him, rather than be shielded from his suffering. His insistence on pushing Hope toward Carter is less about her happiness and more about his own guilt. A guilt that originates from his belief that he has failed those he loves. Meanwhile, at Brooke's home, Carter is locked in an emotionally charged confrontation with Hope, pleading with her not to give up on their relationship. Hope's response is guarded, her walls solidly in place as she reminds him that he was the one who walked away, choosing loyalty to Ridge and the Forrester family over their love. Carter's desperation is evident as he begs for a return to what they once had, insisting that his existence is incomplete without her. His words are passionate, almost poetic. He speaks of needing her, of loathing every second they spend apart, of wanting to rebuild their future. But Hope, though visibly affected, remains hesitant. She lists the things she regrets about him, the warmth of his love, the way he made her feel cherished, but she can't ignore the sting of betrayal. His promises to fix things resonate hollow to her, not because she doubts his sincerity, but because she fears history will repeat itself. The crux of their argument resides in trust, or rather the lack thereof. Carter insists that she can run back into his arms, that they can move past the agony, but Hope remains unconvinced. She acknowledges that he is a decent man, but good intentions, she argues, are not enough when they lead to her being overlooked and hurt. Carter's plea for another opportunity is met with skepticism, and though Hope doesn't outright reject him, her uncertainty speaks volumes. She is caught between the love she still feels and the fear of being wounded again. A fear that Carter, despite his earnest promises, has yet to entirely dispel. Parallel to this, Ridge finds himself in a familiar emotional tug-of-war with Brooke at Forrester Creations. Brooke, ever the optimist when it comes to their relationship, brazenly declares that she still sees a future for them. Ridge, however, is more guarded, reminding her that he is with Taylor now, and that he intends to honor that commitment. Brooke's persistence is relentless. She asserts that his heart still belongs to her, that the love between them is undeniable. She recalls the moments on stage where she saw the affection in his gaze, the unspoken connection that still lingers. Her plea for him to come home is both compassionate and manipulative, a reflection of her unwillingness to let go of the man she has loved for decades. Ridge's response is ambivalent. He admits that he hasn't forgotten what they shared, that Brooke is essential to him, but he remains firm in his decision to stay with Taylor. His reasoning is rooted in a desire to be a man of his word, to uphold the commitments he's made. Yet, there's a fragility to his resolve, as if he's trying to convince himself just as much as he's trying to persuade Brooke. When he asks her to help him keep his word, it's a tacit admission that he's struggling, that part of him still desires her, still feels pulled in her direction. Brooke seizes on this hesitation, arguing that if he were genuinely committed to Taylor, he wouldn't be wrestling with these emotions at all. Her words cut deep, compelling Ridge to confront the possibility that his return to Taylor was less about love and more about obligation, a knee-jerk reaction rather than a genuine choice.